就是说你进了中山大学或者是北大清华，你可以选择去做一个白领，一个经理，也可以考虑选择去创业。
在创业过程中的时候，其实我们所学到的应该是和人相处的一些技巧，和甚至我们一些常规的一些综合的一些销售技巧、交往技巧，还有一些其他的延伸点。提了2个概念，就是一个叫积极的乐观，还有一个叫消极的乐观。所以这是一个不支持的一种乐观。
人文为表，财经为核，欢迎大家收看金轮说。我们大家都喜欢看关于富豪的新闻，那么在广东富豪来说呢，他们是相对比较低调的。比如说我说一个名字，你多数人都没听过，张志东，他曾经是腾讯的前执行董事和首席技术官。很多人在发财之后，他们去买豪宅、买游艇，但是我们这位张志东同志买了个20多万的中档车，就一直这么开着，这就是非常低调的广东富豪。最近看了一本书，大家都看到喽，《富豪的心理》这本书很有意思。哪一个国家的富豪是非常低调的呢？我觉得德国富豪肯定是低调中的低调。因此我们今天非常有幸请到了2位嘉宾，一位是《富豪的心理》的作者雷纳·齐特尔曼博士，欢迎博士。然后还有一位是这本书的译者，《富豪的心理》的这个翻译者，就是深圳新怡科技有限公司的田亮先生，欢迎田先生。这本书里面采访了很多超级富豪，那么这些超级富豪，他们小的时候跟父母的关系是大家想象中的那样吗？他们很叛逆吗？他们经常跟老师和妈妈爸爸作对吗？是不是这样呢？我们今天来请教一下博士。
We know from other billionaires, from their biographies, like Steve Jobs, for example, or Ted Turner, the man who founded CNN, that they had a lot of problems with their parents in their youth, in their childhood. And so I was curious about the interviews I spoke with, whether it is the same with them or not, because before I had a lot of these biographies about the American billionaires, and so I wondered how is it with them. And what I found out, it was in their youth, they were not all the same. Some of them, they had a lot of conflicts with their parents, but not most of them. But a lot of them had conflicts with their teachers when they were at school. And most of them were not so good at school, some were, but most of them were not. And they had a lot of conflicts with their teachers. And I think sometimes it's necessary to have conflicts, even in your youth, to learn something for your later life. And what they learned is to struggle and to swim against the stream, what was very important for them. And I think they learned it for part in this conflicts that they had with their teachers. Maybe this was more important than what they learned really at school.
博士的意思我也理解了，那么我想跟田亮先生交流一下，就是您在做这本书的翻译的时候，看到的这个相关的数据或者说信息是怎么样的？
我们在这边译作中过程中，其实那个雷纳博士和这个也提到了很多一些这一方面的数据。这一方面数据，刚才博士也提到了一点，就是其实很多的一些富豪，他们在和他们的老师，其实更多的有一些叛逆或者一些冲突。对。这些富豪们在达到一定阶段的时候呢，他们突然间有一段经历期，然后就达到了一个从叛逆到逐渐过度成熟的一个过程。也就是说，他们不仅仅从这个本身的教育体制，而且要从其他的一些外援和外观的一些外场的一些活动中去逐渐的去得到升华。
我个人的看法，可能是在富豪他在小的时候，更多的表现为一种天性，就说我这个东西我想改变。或者是我不想这么做，我要去坚持。其实这是一个超级富豪的可能是一个特质。到了一定的程度之后，他更多的学识、知识、情商、智商都上来之后，他懂得怎么样去圆融的处理这个问题。
对，
所以富豪他们的这个情商、智商可能还是一般的人不能比的。
对，因为从前几章节来看的话，其实更多的一些心理不在于我们所理解的一种完全的一种叛逆，或者是我们中国去理解的这种叛逆，而这种叛逆更多的是在于一种不认同，或者是我想改变。所以这种叛逆来自于对一种未知世界的一种探索和求知。 所以我觉得这种判决是一种良性的一种判决。
我非常赞同田总的看法。那么我就是很想知道，因为中国很多家长也想知道，因为大家都希望自己的孩子成绩好，这一点没错，对吧？我们这本书的这个统计数据来看，以及从这个齐特尔曼博士您写这本书的整个过程来看，成绩的好坏与财富是正相关还是负相关，还是说没有那么大的关联性？
So I think there's no correlation between their formal education and their financial success that they had later in their life. Sure, most of them had a good education, but some of them have not. And for example, one billionaire I spoke with, only to give him an example, he didn't even had high school education. And I asked all the others about their grades that they had at school. And sure, there were some better and some not, but there was absolutely no correlation. So I think other things were much more important for them. In psychology, you distinguish between what you call implicit learning and explicit learning. And, you know, explicit learning is this academic learning, what you learn at school, what you learn at university. And implicit learning, you can call it learning by doing, or maybe you can call it school of life. And these things were much, much more important for them. Because, for example, when they were teenagers or at school or university, and they worked beside school or they worked beside university, they did not these things that a lot of students do. For example, when I was a student, the other students, some were taxi drivers, some were worked in factory, even some, but most of them worked for hourly wages. And this is exactly what they did not. Yes, they were engaged in sales, for example. They sold a lot of things. They had a lot of fantasy what kind of things to sell when they were teenagers besides school, or they had their first entrepreneurial activities. And I think the things they learned at this time were much, much more important than what they learned at school. And this is what you called this implicit learning. And this implicit learning, in the end, it results in implicit knowledge, or what you call intuition, or what you call gut feeling. And so this was, for example, one question I asked them. You know, every one of us has both the analytical side and our gut feeling. You use both, I use both. But I asked them, what is more important for you? And most of them told me gut feeling is very important. But then you have to understand, what does gut feeling mean? Is it something irrational or something like that? Not, it is absolutely not. It's nothing irrational. It's something, it's a result of this implicit learning processes that, and this were very important, especially what their entrepreneurial activities, their sales activities, and I think this is another topic we will maybe speak later about it, their activities in competitive sports.
博士认为，主要的个脉络还是说觉得没有太大的相关性，对吧？我还是有点小小的反对意见。龙应台说过一句话，他说：“孩子，我让你去努力学习，是为了让你多一个选择。就是说，你进了中山大学或者是北大清华，你可以选择去做一个白领，一个经理，也可以考虑选择去创业。创业有多苦，大家都知道吗？最近有2个创业者自杀了，当然我对自杀者表示哀悼，也表示就说很大程度上的一种悲伤吧。但我的意思就是说，可能学习到了某个阶段，比如说本科，这个时候应该还算是知识啊、学历各方面都够用了。如果说再往上学，你真的是学者，有这个爱好和兴趣，你可以去学，你也可以不学，因为不是每个人都适合做学者。这一点，这是我的个人的看法，我也想听听田先生的意见。
这个张老师，你说这个我是认同的。其实你刚才提到这2位，其实其中有一位我认识。然后从书中的角度来讲的话，就是我们来看的话，其实很多的成功者或者是很多的财富自由者，他是与一定的良好的中小学教育甚至大学教育有一定的关联性的。
是。
但是呢，也不代表的就是有了好的学历就能够达到一个创业创新的一个目的。
是。
其实本身作为一个创业者，我也知道，其实作为 一个公司的一个创始人，甚至很多的一些联合的一些伙伴们，其实他的压力所承受的一些大的一个压力是别人无法去想象的。我们现在来讲的话，就是一个良好的中小学教育，甚至大学教育，它会给我们一个更多的一些选择。从另外一个角度来讲的话，就是我们也认识到一个问题，就是我们应该除了这种我们学校的正规教育之外，还要延伸到一些其他的一些教育途径。在创业过程中的时候，其实我们所学到的应该是和人相处的一些技巧，和甚至我们一些常规的一些综合的一些销售技巧、交往技巧，还有一些其他的延伸点。那么这一块来讲的话，这一块在我们日后的一些成功和我们抗压能力上，其实带来的影响会更大。
我很赞同田先生的这个说法。是大学毕业以后，我一直在学东西，尤其是到了某一个年龄阶段以后，我好像发现我的学习能力是突飞猛进的。所以你需要不断的自我更新，不断的迭代，你才能够认识更多的人，到一个更好的地方，到一个更高的境界。我觉得终身学习是非常重要的。我相信这些富豪也是终身学习的典范。OK， 刚才田先生跟我们一起说到了他认识这2位自杀的创业者中间的一位，然后也说到了压力的问题，我就顺势来谈一下乐观的问题。很多富豪都是比较乐观的，或者是乐观的人数偏多的。那么我很自信啊，我是一点乐观的人，希望有一天能成为富豪。我想听一下这个齐塞尔曼博士跟我们聊一下关于富豪的性格，关于他们性格中间的乐观这一块的因素，对他们的成功有多大的帮助。
Okay. Yes, one very important point or question for me was whether they are optimistic or not and what they mean with being an optimist. So I asked every one of them if there's a scale from -5, the absolute pessimist, extreme pessimist, to +5, the extreme optimist. Where would you rate yourself? And most of them, nearly everyone, rated very high degree, between 3 and 5 plus optimism. But this was only the first thing. What was much more important for me to find out, what do they mean by optimism? Do they mean to wear maybe sun roses glass or something like this? And no, it's not this. They mean that they trust in themselves to solve problems. There will be always problems in our life for everyone. For rich people, maybe more problems than for poor people in a way. But they focus on the solution and not on the problem. And maybe I can give a quote of one of them who was a very, very rich and interesting man, and what he said about this optimism. He said, optimism is basically the feeling that you will always emerge positively from whatever situation you have got yourself involved in. That you will always come up with an idea, a solution that will enable you to master a specific situation. When I think of optimism, I don't mean the sun will always shine on me, you know. I also mean that I will somehow be able to provide my own warmth from within. So optimism is also related to self-confidence in one's own actions, and not just believing that all good things will come to me. That's not what I would describe as optimism. So it's not so important only to understand that they feel very optimistic, but what do they mean with this? In psychology, you have another word for is self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is that what they mean, to trust in your own abilities to solve problems. And what's very important as well, you know, every one of them had setbacks and had difficult situations in their life. And so they acted differently from other people. For most of the people is this: if something bad happens in your life, you blame others for this. For example, bad grades at school, towards a teacher. Yes, or when you made your driver license, you got problems, it was him. Or maybe the society or whatever. If something good happens for you, it's you. And if something bad happens, you blame others. And that's exactly what they did not. Yes, they took responsibility for success, but as well responsibility for their failure, for their setbacks, and for their crises. And it's not about the market, it's not about the competitor, It's not about the society as a whole. It's always about me. And, this is another kind of attitude than you have with other people. And so you have to understand, they say, I'm very optimistic, but it means yourself to take responsibility and to believe in your ability to solve the problems. Not that there will be no problems, not that everything will have a happy end like in a Hollywood movie. That would be so simple. That's not what they think.
我的想法就是，可能是因为这些人比较乐观，所以当他们面对和其他不乐观的人一样的局面的时候，他们咬牙坚持，他们把事情拆分开来，一点一点去解决，然后他们就脱颖而出，获得了一点更多的成功，最后成为超级富豪。所以乐观，我个人的理解啊，有一部分是天生的。有一部分是在后天的奋斗过程中间被激发出来的热情。我们问一下田亮先生，他是一位创业者，他在深圳创业，那么遇到的那些企业家是乐观的多呢，还是悲观的多？或者说他本人是一个乐观主义者，还是一个悲观主义者？
这个是一个很有挑战的一个问题。实际上来讲的话，在我认识的朋友当中，其实乐观要多于悲观。因为这是一个基本的一个条件，包括这个现在我们来看呢，现在这些创业的环境来好，还是我们当前的经济环境也好，其实我们需要更多的一些乐观的一个心态来去面对我们所有面对的一些困难。那么从现在来看的话，我们的一个创业者也好，或者是我们说统称的一些成功者也好，他们都有一个积极面对一些困难的一些基本的一些特质，而这个特质来讲的话，在他们遇到困难的时候，能有更多的一些精力和方法来去处理他所面对的一切这种挑战。在我看来的话，它是一个辩证的一个观点，就是说我们相信乐观会带来的一些积极作用，但是我们也不排斥一些乐观带来的一些盲目的自信。那么盲目的自信也有可能会让我们去忽视我们看到的一些潜在的一些风险点。实际上我在北京的这个寺庙里面，他得到了一个信息，就是他给我提了2个概念，就是一个叫积极的乐观，还有一个叫消极的乐观。那么这2个是什么意思呢？积极的乐观这一块来指的话，就是我们面对一切事物来讲呢，能本能的从最优的角度来去考虑它。而这个消极的乐观来讲的话，就是说其实我本身不是一个乐观的性格，而是我为了表现出了这种乐观而去面对这一切，
而且不去着手解决问题。
对，因为消极的乐观实际上是不断在累积的一种负面情绪，那这种负面情绪甚至这些压力在他身体内不断在累积的过程中就逐渐会爆发出来，那么很多人就会因此走向一个极端，所以这是一个不支持的一种乐观。
我们刚才谈了好多这种有压力的话题，或者是说可能是有一点点负面的话题，我们回一个阳光一点的话题，讲一讲运动。我认真的拜读了这2本书，因为我想成为一个富人嘛。那么《富豪的心理》这本书里面讲到，我们博士采访的45位超级富豪，有23位都非常有运动的这个应该说是潜质，或者说已经成为一个比较好的一个运动员。那么而我们也看国内的这些大佬啊，比如说王石，王石以前是爬山，然后现在玩皮划艇。潘石屹是平板支撑以及仰卧起坐，然后还有我们好几位大佬吧，都有他自己的玩法，就是在运动方面。在德国的超级富豪中间，也有很多人是各种运动。我很想问一下博士，他是怎么样看待这种状况的？而且博士本身是不是也比较热爱运动？
Okay, yes, this was one of the interesting results when I spoke with them about their youth, about their biography, that half of them were athletes in competitive sports. I wondered why this was so important for them, or why a lot of them had this in common. And I spoke with them about this, and I think they learned a lot for their later life, especially how to deal with success and as well how to deal with setbacks, with failure. Because if you do competitive sports, you have to learn both things. And this is another example, what I was talking before, what I call this implicit learning, what is much more important than this explicit learning, what you do, in academics or school, university. And they were, some of them were very successful in sports. One even took part at the Olympic Games, and the others in nationwide competitive, were nationwide in Germany very successful. And so I think if you add both things together, the entrepreneurial experience or experience in sales that they did beside school or university, and on the other side, experience they had in sports. Yes, these were two very important aspects. But let me come back to another question that you raised before with this optimism, because I want to add something what is very important. And this is about their risk profile, because I asked them another question about their risk profile. For example, the same, from -5 to +5. +5 means a very high risk profile. And I think it's not so surprising that most of them had a very high risk profile, in addition with this high optimism. But what you should keep in mind, that it can be dangerous as well. It is an advantage, but there's a methodological problem that you have to be aware of, what you call the survivor bias. Let's go to a casino, for example, and I ask all the winners, what have you done? I took very high risk, okay, and then you say, okay, that's the way I will win. It's a guarantee to win, to take high risk. But then if you go to all the losers and ask, what have you done? Oh, I took very high risk, yes. And this is always the problems with this books. You have to be aware of it. It's too easy to say, look what they have in common, because you speak always only with the successful people, with those who survived. But if you make another analysis or survey in the people who lost all their money, what did they? So it's not so easy like it seems. And what I found out, what is very important, that the people I spoke with, most of them were old. Because it takes, if you are self-made, it takes a lot of years or sometimes decades to get some hundreds of millions or even billions. And when I talked to them, I found out that during their life, they reduced their risk profile. So I think this is very important. Maybe in your youth, you are very risk orientation, you have optimism, and then you have some experience in life. And then there are two groups. One, understand that you have to reduce your risk profile, and they will survive. And the others, they will go on the same way. And they will be no interview partners for me, because they lose their money in a way. So I think this is very important as well to understand that it's a question of the stage, maybe to be more risk-oriented in the youth, and then to reduce your risk profile during your life, maybe through risk diversification and all these things that you can do.
您平时运动和锻炼的时间多吗？
Yeah, sure, I do. Since 40 years, yes. And I do 4 to 6 times a week, yes. And I make, like I started with weightlifting, yes. And later I did bodybuilding, I do even today, yes. And I like it very much, so I belong to this group that I interviewed. So for me, both things are true as well, yes. Maybe I can show you.
现场脱衣服给大家现场。哦，这个镜头要看一下，厉害厉害。德国富豪他们为什么普遍这么低调？我给大家讲2个故事，不是段子啊。第一个故事就是德国的阿尔迪兄弟，人家可是在德国的那个应该是富豪排行榜上长期处于前列，有多少钱呢？大概有400亿欧元，算起来大概是3000亿人民币。很少接受采访，一辈子都没有几张照片。这样的德国的超级富豪，我们觉得是挺有意思的。还有一个德国的超级富豪住在德国的慕尼黑，在慕尼黑这个地方呢，有个很大的别墅是归他们家住。结果这个别墅上面有五排一个名字，好像看起来是5家人在那住，实际上只有他们一家人在那住。这个名字里面没有这家超级富豪的姓名。他们就低调到这种程度，所以我对德国人这种低调的特性，特别是德国超级富豪的这种低调的特性，非常有兴趣，想听一下博士和田亮先生的个人分享。
Yes, the super rich people in Germany, they are different, for example, from, let's say, Russian people, for example. Russian rich people, they show all the money they have. Yes, I remember I was in vacation one time, and there was one, there was all for free. You know, it was all inclusive, so you don't have to pay anything. But there was one Russian guy, and he gave some hundreds of dollars, and he said, "Don't forget, I'm the man with the money." Yeah, you know, this was sometimes it's their attitude, but in Germany it's absolutely the contrary. And one reason is because in Germany we have a lot of envy against rich people, envy, prejudice, negative stereotypes about rich people, and this is one of the reasons for their low profile. Sure, there are other reasons. For example, they have maybe fear to be kidnapped or something like this. But I think envy is very important. There's a difference between the United States and Germany. I made now another survey that will be published next year. It was an international poll. We made a survey in the United States, Germany, France, and UK. And we asked about the attitude towards rich people. So this time, not rich people were interviewed, but other people. What do they think about the rich people? And we looked how strong is the envy against rich people in different countries to compare it. And it was, for example, much lower in the United States or in UK than it is in Germany. Or than it is in France. We have much more envy against rich people, and this is a reason as well why it is hard to get so close to them and to have interviews like I did. It was definitely the first time that so many people that were 45 gave in-depth interviews about 1 or 2 hours. You know, in the end it was 1,700 pages filled with all these interviews, and it was the first time. And the reason they did it with me, I think it was because they know I'm first rich as well, and they don't have to fear that there's a journalist with a hidden agenda or something, maybe leftist with prejudice against rich people. And so they trusted me, and another reason was that they were anonymous. Yes, I had promised them that I don't mention their name. Only one did, because one of them had an interview later for the leading German news magazine. You know, he allowed me to mention his name, but this was the only exception.
其实我们来看的话，我们除了这种文化的这种之间的这种区别之外，那另外一点的话，很在于它本身的一个个人的一个修养。其实我们在中国来看的话，很多我们觉得是这个低调是为了保证安全，但是在欧洲区不一定是仅仅为了安全这一个角度来去考虑，
是要修养。
对，他要考虑很多一些其他的一些因素。你本身来讲的话，他可能就形成了一种性格，我有钱又有钱了，那没钱的话，我可以再去赚。对他来讲的话，他只是说，我得到这么多的一些财富来讲的话，不论是金钱也好，还是这些固定资产也好，其实我本身来讲的话，它只是我一种能力的一种证明。那么对于一些我们自己内部圈子里面，他们有他自己的一个切磋和一些一些对比。在这个对比来讲的话，并不是对比之间我们之间财富有多少，而是在于我们之间能不能达到另外一个程度，另外一个高度。从大数据的角度来讲的话，我们最终的一个人的一个行为的一个最终的一个结果，取决于我们多个因素的输入。就像我们刚才张老师你在前面我们也提到过，包括一个人的学历，包括一个人的这个个人的一个性格，然后其实多个的一个特征值的输入，经过某种的一些训练。或是我们在计算机学叫训练，或者是学习，那么最终输出为最终的一个人生。所以这个最终的一个人生，我们认为它就是一个最终的一个集修养于一体的一个大成者。
我说的非常好，就是说我们这一期讲广东的低调富豪以及德国的低调富豪，我个人收益是非常多的。就是如果说你要走上那条路，成为拥有那种成功的人生，你要有健康的身体，要有乐观的情绪，要有不断的自我更新、自我迭代的这种能力，可能还需要有好的运气。这样你才有可能成为一个超级富豪。至于低调不低调，那就是修养的问题了。德国人他为什么现在这么低调？我觉得蔡老师刚才在场外跟我说的非常好，人家都富了很多年了，你们是刚富，你们当然要嘚瑟，人家富了很多年了，不觉得有钱是多么了不起的事情。我觉得这也是今天场外的第一金句。非常感谢大家，欢迎大家在网上搜索我们的微信公众号金轮说。 谢谢大家收看，谢谢。